Way back when the time I was a young person, my dad introduced me to the way of life in the land. I caught the very end of it, actually, living off the land kind of thing. It stuck to me, and my children also loved that as well. I think it's just in the blood. Like once you like it, then you like doing it, and that's the way it's been. I guess up in this part of Canada right now, the northern part of Canada, most people still have the quiet enjoyment of their Aboriginal treaty rights, much like what our ancestors did before, to live off the land and just go about,
I love the community. Yeah. I love being here, and yes, it might be a reserve, but even before that, reserve land was put on there. It was our land, it was our homeland,
One of my good hobbies is being in the bush with a parcel, alone. As I find it out there when I'm alone, it's like I'm still healing from the past. And it helps being in the bush.
When we go to our camp over there and with the weekends, that's a really, comfortable feeling, being out there and not having to worry about all the day-to-day things that are happening, and enjoying the land, enjoying the creation that's out there, and it's beautiful.
This is called Bushtown. Very special place for me, and hopefully it will be a special place for my children because I bring them out here. So just pass it on like the way it was passed on to me. Just driving here from Fort Hope, to me, I've driven that road for so many years in my life, by boat and by skidoo. I always find it as beautiful.
Just recently I went to Bushtown, to our camp, and I just loved being there. It was like everything just kind of went away, and it was just me and the land, and just sitting on the rock and looking, just listening to the sound of the waves and just the trees blowing, and you can hear the birds, and I don't know, there's just a connection to the land that I can't explain, but it's there.
It is a unique experience, and I think it's something that everybody treasures up here. It's a really nice that we still have it.
I used to be excited to get my assistance just to buy the stuff I need for the bush, for hunting. Just things like, winter clothing or food, something I need. That was my highlight of my life, just getting ready to go trapping.
When I go out there, I get excited and enjoy it, and when I come back, and I wanted to go back again.
This is a special place. I feel that we have a lot to offer.
And that's something that the Southerners don't know, They don't know about this the stuff we have here in our backyard, and what it means to us, why we treasure it, why we make an opposition or waves for government and industry. That's the reason why we do that, is because of that.
It's about your tradition and the land and your language. It's just like, it's who you are.
And it's very important to try and keep our heritage. Very important. can't just let it go.
They never, exploited the land the way land is exploited today for wealth creation. The value that most people had before was the land is there for use, and you take what you need.
I know they say that there's studies that doesn't prove that there's going to be any excessive damage and pollution, whatever they're going to put in there. Well, to be honest, you have to be realistic. There will be some damage. There will be pollution. There will be.
Once you give up your land, you're not going to get it back. If you do get it back, it's probably going to be not the same the way it was. Maybe when you get it back, there'll be no trees. There'll be a big open pit where the mine was and stuff like that.
I feel afraid in some sense because we are losing some of our culture, some of our ways and how we would do things. If we want to keep who we are, we have to really thoroughly think this through and how we're going to do this without disrupting our values. If we don't protect those values, really, we say we have them, but if we allow things to disrupt, and shake that ground, there weren't really values to begin with.
I don't think we're ready for it yet. And even if we are ready for it, I still don't see who's footing the bill. There is a bill. Who's going to pay the price? And we are most likely. And on top of that, our hunting and fishing is going to be changed as well, the migration and all that.
I remember my grandfather was saying, if we cut down this tree, but an animal lived in this tree or was around this tree, then that animal's not going to come back. And it's the same thing with the whole mining thing. Like, if you're going to dig a big hole here and we have a bunch of animals that migrate and they want to go, that's their route, right? And we disrupt that, which way are they going to go? Or how are they going to? They probably won't come by here again.
When you think about the Ring of Fire area, that land is not just a land, it's Muskeg, there's lots of water. You're talking about the rivers, lakes, fish, It's like putting a paintball in a lake and it dilutes and it just spreads like, it just contaminates. It will contaminate the whole place. We weren't raised to dirty our land or leave it look unrespectful.
You always have to remember what is important. And if it is so important, you protect what is important, right? So it's the same thing for the land. If it's so important to us and if it is who we are, then we have to protect it in the most careful. We have to be very, very careful on how we make these decisions. Because if we say, yeah, go ahead, it's going to generate money. But money only lasts for so long, and then you don't get it back. And it's the same thing for the land. You shake the grounds, it's never going to be the same.
We hear stories about the places like the tar sands in Alberta that's destroying rivers and the land and the wildlife. So that's the kind of stuff that people really fear.
This is the last frontier. This is the last pristine place there. So I have concerns about the environment.
The difference, I think, is the people that live down south live down there and they move around here and there, but here in the northern part of the community, pretty well the people are stationary in a sense. So whatever happens here, we will live with it. And I think that's why people are so, so cautious about what they hear might develop and what might happen, should that happen. So that's a genuine concern.
This gets too deep for me. Trying to figure out who do I point the finger at? The company or ourselves? It should be equal, but let's face it, it's never equal. Someone always gets the short end of the stick. And the majority of the time it is First Nations people.
There's a word in my language. It's often used, and it's called Shoshkonamago. And it's a word that says, it's something that's being pushed to your side. And it's an opportunity for you to do something. And so when I talk about the past, that's what I'm saying here is an opportunity. The government has never made that.
I wouldn't mind, mining opening as long as we have the benefit, out of it, and as long as they don't destroy the land.
As long as they keep the land clean and take their garbage home, eh? For example, when I went out for those 10 days there, we had a little oil spill there. Then we cleaned it up. We helped the drillers. We cleaned it up, and that was a good example that they don't leave their mess to those drillers. Plus, we were working as a team in different cultures. There was a French, a Chinese, and a Native, and a white. There was 4 different cultures there, and they all had the same thing, as to clean it up and take care of the land.
I support that signing agreement because I played a part in that first development of the regional framework agreement. I was thinking about the community. So these are the key things that we need, better homes, better health care, better education.
I know one of the things that would be a huge benefit is that the price of food. These communities, should the road come through, it should. I'm not going to speculate if it will. It should go down.
It'll be a lot cheaper too. You would have the opportunity to go shopping, in Thunder Bay, kind of bring the cost down, for each family's survival.
There'll be more jobs, let's say, and more things to do. Maybe it'll be a lot easier to go to school. Maybe we'll have better houses too, because where I'm living, I don't want to live there, but I have no choice. I have no choice to live there because I have nowhere else to go. At least if the road comes in, I'm pretty sure my grandchildren will have nice houses in the future instead of what we're living in right now.
It's going to be good for my family, you know. I'll have a way to go, you know, supply for the needs of my family, you know, things that they want. I'll have family getaways, you know. It'll be cheaper, you know, for us, you know, for my side anyways.
You know, just getting on the vehicle and going just about any time you want would become something positive, you know. Plane tickets for youth. Like I just took out a youth group to Prince Albert there, and just the airplane tickets themselves cost us a little over $2,000 for 7 of them. Yeah, and including hours and also the road, the gas, and the travel. So that would save us a lot of money. That's a positive I see, you know, for the road coming in. And
I'm optimistic about like the jobs and stuff like that our community can benefit from.
if you want employment in the future, that's the way to go.
I feel it can be done. I feel that if other reserves can do it, why can't we do it?
Short-term benefits, I don't think are, to grab something that the company may be offering or the government might not go a long way. So that's one of the things I think that people have to consider, and that's a very hard one, because, if you're living in poverty, what would you do? If they were to invest, in probably community infrastructure, that'll go a lot longer, and also education. If they could invest more of the money into the education of the younger people and future generations, I think that'll go a lot longer than just getting a handful of cash. That's not going to last very long. I guess the challenge more comes into that we are not all on the same page, on the same level of understanding. But if you have, background information, then I think you can see a wider picture. You can see, have a more holistic view of things.
If you don't know what you've been asked to do, like to support a decision, if you don't know, you're not confident to make a good choice, to even speak. There's no confidence. But if you learn about what's going on, like I'll just, for example, mining in the Ring of Fire, and if you're well informed, you know exactly what's going on, you are going to be confident and make the best decision for your community,
When a new thing comes to a community, especially when the size of the project, it's going to affect everyone. It's going to affect education is going to be affected, social life is going to be affected, economics, everything is going to be affected. There'll be a lot of uncertainty, I guess, on what will happen. I think we're in a good place right now.
So in ways there's good and bad, and I don't think nobody will ever be totally satisfied in this world, until everything becomes perfect,
So this is new, a new opportunity. But neither do we want to be taken into a situation where none of this is held in good faith. I've heard the province use those words, good faith. So we expect the same.
Eventually it will come, whether we like it or not, because they know now that the minerals are there. They'll do everything to get it out.
No matter what happens, it's a matter of how you take it in. What is our plan? What is our strategy? You know, what are we going to come up with? How are we going to prepare people to either accept or to work with what's coming?
For me, I don't oppose any kind of a development because I think it's something that's going to come anyways, regardless. And we need to get ready if we want to get involved in there, because I definitely want to be ready, and I want to get a job in there, or my kids to get a job, and basically just to plan things right, especially with the environment. You know, that's the biggest thing.
We will continue to protect the land from being overexploited or destroyed. We have to try and make the right decisions, I guess, of how we're going to use the land.
So you got to think outside of the box, where it's not just money to create jobs. It's money to keep people alive, you know, because when they take our education and they take our health, what do we have left? And they're going to take our land on top of that, because it's going to be ruined. So what do we have left? You know, what is my grandson going to have left?
If we're not doing our negotiation right, we could be, you know, going down the river without a paddle, kind of thing, you know. So I think we have to be very focused and careful on how we're gonna negotiate and all that, you know.
It's really important that people come and participate.
We really need to be informing the community, you know, not only the negative, but the positive.
The opportunities are here, it's just you have to grab it, you know.
When you talk about poverty, when you talk about a lot of jobs, seeing your people go without, you want to be able to provide, you know, the benefits of what could be if this negotiation is done well. But you still have to balance, okay, at what cost? And I think this is the bottom line for us, is at what cost?
All 9 First Nations Tanakotamog this framework agreement tomorrow and Wabangtash. So 499 people gi survey gi nakush tonarat survey, and 390 people hagi kitok at 78%. Kawin no gagi kitok 71, which is 14%. And undecided, the march one way or the other, 38 people, that's 8%. Tomorrow morning is the signing. And Thursday we need.
This is indeed a significant day for Matao First Nations. And it is with a bit of mixed emotions that I sit here as chief of the Yamatuk First Nation. I'm really glad that we took the extra time required to get as many people informed and participate, whether we are to be part of this process. So I want to thank my community members who have elected to go forward, and for those that said no, and those that are undecided. I want to thank you. I want to thank everyone. And as First Nations, it is recognized that we take this seriously. We are mandated to be good stewards of this land. And it is something that's been sacred to First Nations people. I pray that the government, Ontario, and the federal government will recognize and honor what we say.
Big problem, I think, is the autonomy of the First Nation. Each First Nation would like to decide on their own what they want to do, kind of thing, which is natural, obviously, you know. But somehow we need to have a common denominator on some of the things that need to be done. We have a very good instrument that was signed in 1905 called the Treaty, which is a collective agreement. So all of us here in this community are part of that collective agreement. So we're in it together.
I think it's got to be an open dialogue between the leadership. You know, respect for one another. That's the key. You know, willingness to talk and willingness to put aside our differences and come to a common ground.
We need to get these other communities to communicate with each other. So that's one community doesn't go on alone.
If you take only one First Nation, that can be snapped just like that. But if you take 9,
and I like to see it being a joint decision, you know, by First Nations, industry, and the government. You know, let's make this decision together.
You know, we're not giving away or signing into anything, but it's a matter of beginning of discussing what we want.
When there's an open house regarding any type of organization or specifically on mining, you know, it's important that people come and learn more about it to be well informed.
We need to walk together, you know. We need to stop looking at things like they're out to get us, you know. And look at how can we work in partnership where you understand who we are.
That's what we need to do with our communities. We need to motivate our youth, our middle-aged people, and our elders to work together and work together for a better future.
We can only do our part, and that is to extend the hand, but we can only move somewhere, I believe, if the other party reaches out, you know, to the extension of our hand.
We need to think big. We can do it by coming together. The sky, I think, is the limit for this community. This thing is moving. We're moving. This community is moving. Yeah, we may have put on the brakes, you know, but we're moving forward now. So
I'm very hopeful in seeing this community be as vibrant and outgoing as it used to be. We have a lot of potential. We have a lot of youth that's coming up, and slowly we're getting up there, and one day we'll be there.
It's your future. It's the community that we're working with here collectively.
So I think this time around we have to be up to par and know this that what we want has to come our way.
Your ideas, your input is important.
So that's what I like to see is a very healthy community. And I think we're working towards that now.
We'll be there. We're a vibrant community. Always will be.
And that's why it's so vital that the people know. What is it you want? What is it you want us to put in there? I need to hear from the people. So when we do go further, you know, it's not about a project. It's about accepting what's been moved across to us from the government to begin talking. In a way, when I speak about finding a balance to all of this, we also hear the voices of the past and their concerns, and at the same time, their hopes and dreams, you know? So how to capture that is what is on the table.